Hey guys, Mrs. Dalton here. Today's lesson can be found on page 71 in your workbook. We are going to be dividing fractions and mixed numbers. We have 3 learning targets today. We are going to divide a whole number by a fraction less than 1. We're going to divide a fraction by a whole number or a fraction, and we're going to solve real-world problems by dividing such numbers. So it looks like our friend Brenna is in charge of ordering lunch for the student council members at Jackson Middle School. She buys a 6-foot-long sandwich at Significant Subs and slices it into half-foot sections. So for number 1A, we're going to draw a pictorial model you can use to find the number of sections Brenna, even though it says Brenda, slices. And we're going to show how the model is divided into half-foot sections. Okay, so in your workbook, you're going to take these notes with me real quick. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to draw a big long rectangle, and that's going to represent our 6-foot-long sandwich, okay? So this whole thing represents 6 feet. All right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this sandwich in half first, and then I'm going to cut each half into thirds, which will show you each 1-foot section of the sandwich, okay? But then, remember, Brenna is going to slice it into half-foot sections. So if this is 1 foot of sandwich, I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to cut this one in half, and 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 this one in half. And I'm going to end up with how many half-foot sections? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1B says that 6 divided by 1/2 means our 6-foot-long section, or sandwich, divided into half-foot sections gives us 12 half-foot sections, okay? Kind of weird, huh? Because we're dividing, we usually get a number that's smaller, but in this case, we're going to get a number that's bigger. Remember, when we are dividing, we're trying to figure out how many groups of 1/2 fit inside of that 6 holes, okay? Let's do another one. Now she's got to buy drinks. So Brenna buys 4 quarts of milk, and she figures that each student is going to drink about 1/3 of a quart. So 2A says draw a pictorial model that we can use to find the number of servings of milk that 4 quarts can provide. Show the model divided into 1/3 quart sections. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to draw 4 rectangles to represent each quart of milk. And then I'm going to divide each quart of milk into 1/3 quart sections. So I'm going to take this quart and divide it in thirds, this quart and divide it in thirds, this quart and divide it in thirds, and this quart and divide it in thirds. So if I have 4 quarts and I divide it into 1/3 quart sections, how many do I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's weird. So now I divided again and got a number that's bigger than you would think. So remember, again, when we're dividing, we're finding out how many groups of 1/3 will fit into 4 quarts. So number 3 says, look at the number sentences in 1B and 2B. So 1B said 6 divided by 1/2, and we got 12. And then 1B said 4 divided by 1/3 equals 12. What do you notice? Give you a second to think. Okay, so hopefully you noticed that if you take this whole number and multiply by this denominator, you get 12. And same thing over here. If you take this whole number and multiply by this denominator, you also get 12. In this case, that just worked out to be 12. But hopefully what you notice is that if you take that whole number and multiply the denominator, you get the answer to both of these questions, and you're partially right. Actually, you're almost right. You're exactly right. But we're going to put a little change to that, okay? Go ahead and turn your page to 72. And look for where it says the patterns you have just investigated. We're going to skip that top part. Okay? Did you find it? The patterns you have investigated can be summarized in this algorithm. And I want you to box this whole statement right here because it's super important. To divide by a fraction, you are actually going to multiply by the reciprocal, okay? So I want you to circle multiply, and then I want you to put another box around this word reciprocal. And reciprocal means that you are flipping. Let's go ahead and change this interchanging, because we're going to talk about the word flip today. We are actually flipping the numerator and the denominator. So if you look at your example, if I have the fraction 3/7, the reciprocal of 3/7 is when you flip the numerator and the denominator and you make 7/3. Okay? Come down here to number 5. It says find the reciprocal of each number. So if I am dividing by 4/5, that means I'm actually multiplying by 5/4. I'm going to flip that fraction, okay? So the reciprocal of 4/5 is 5/4. Letter B, the reciprocal of 6 wholes. Remember that 6 wholes is the same thing as 6/1. So in order to find the reciprocal of 6 wholes, or 6/1, you're going to flip the numerator and denominator into 1/6. And then last one, find the reciprocal of 8/5. We're going to flip the numerator and the denominator, and we're going to change it to 5/8. Okay, coming up next is a video I think you're going to like.
Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Dividing fractions is easy. That's no lie. You just flip one, yup, then you multiply. Don't flip both, because that'll be strange. You need to keep one exactly the same. Yeah. Then the sign gets changed, division to multiplication, that's okay. Then flip the second fraction like you're on a grill. We multiply what's left, that's really real. Take 3/5 divided by 2/3. Keep change, flip, that's the word. Keep 3/5 the same, change the sign so we multiply, that's the game. Flip 2/3, we get 3/2, then we can multiply, and so should you. 3 times 3 is 9, 2 times 5 is 10, 9/10 can't reduce it, that's the end. Why do we flip it? I'll explain the math. Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by half. 20 students in your class divided by 2 would be 10 students. All we can do, 20 students in your class times half is 10. You'll see, you get the same thing at the end. Dividing is multiplying by the reciprocal. Keep change, flip, yeah, that's the simple rule. Keep change, flip, yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep change, flip, yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep change, flip, yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep change, flip, yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions.
Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed that song and it kind of sticks in your brain today. So I want you to go to page 73 and I want you to find where it says try these A, and we're going to do C together, okay? So we've got 2/5 divided by 7/10, and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal or keep change flip. So you're going to keep 2/5 You're going to change your division sign to multiplication, and then you're going to flip your second fraction to 10 over 7. Now, it's real important to you remember, we only flip the second fraction, not the first one, okay? So 2 times 10 is 20, 5 times 7 is 35. We have to simplify, so divide by 5, and you're going to get 4/7, okay? Now, I want you to scroll down the page, and I want you to find where it says try these B, and we're going to do letter A for an example. This time it says 2 5/6 divided by 5/12. And just like we did with multiplying fractions, remember that you have to turn your mixed number into an improper fraction. You've got to do this. It's very, very super important, okay? So we're going to go step by step. We're going to take 2 5/6 and we're going to turn it into an improper fraction. So we're going to take 6 times 2 plus 5. Remember Texas right here. And then down here is how I want you to see it. 6 times 2 plus 5 over 6. And then divided by 12. 6 times 2 plus 5 is 17 over 6. Remember, keep your denominator the same. Divided by 5/12. Once you've got it looking like this, then you can keep change flip. So we're going to keep 17/6. We're going to change the division sign to multiplication, and we're going to flip the 5/12 into 12 over 5. Okay? Once you've got it looking like this, you just multiply your numerators, multiply your denominators. 17 times 12, the work is over here, is going to give you 204. 6 times 5 is 30. That guy is way improper, so now we've got to divide. 204 on the inside divided by 30 on the outside will give you, let's see, that's a 0 here also. 0 won't go into 2, won't go into 20. 30 goes into 204. 6 times 30 is 180. Subtract, we've got 24. Circle the 6, that's your whole number. Come around like a clock. So we end up with 6 and 24/30. We need to simplify that fraction. Divide by 6 on the bottom and the top. Keep your whole number, and our simplified fraction is 6 and 4/5. Okay? All right, here's your assignment for today. You're going to go to page 74 in your workbook, and I want you to complete this check your understanding on a slice of notebook paper. Please make sure your name is on your paper. When you are done, I want you to turn it into the blue box. Now, 8, A, B, and C is only finding the reciprocal, so this should take you like 30 seconds. Number 9, you've actually got 3, 6, 9 problems. I want you to work out as many as you can on your slice of notebook paper, and you've got to show me all of your work. Show all work, please. Okay? If you need to go back and look at notes, you can rewind this video. If you have your device, you can go to my webpage, and I've got the video posted there, and you can watch it again if you need to. No music, no YouTube besides my video, and no texting or anything like that. I need you focused on today's lesson. So please show all of your work. You're going to turn your work into the blue box with your class period on there, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.